We got Audrey the intern in studio with us because
Hello.
There's a show, right, that you get to listen to, and then there's a show that goes on when we're in between breaks, when we go basically talk to Audrey, because this girl is living her best life. Joining us back on the show is our intern, Audrey.
Hello.
She's a single woman.
How old are you, Audrey?
I am 23.
Audrey, how do you spell your name?
Audrey.
Audrey the intern. I think she'd be fun at
so
parties.
cute.
She's so cute.
Gotta invite her.
Put her on there, Kevin.
I miss you, Audrey.
Yeah.
She's listening right now too. But Audrey, you're an intern. You
You ain't got nothing else to do.
got nothing else.
Yeah.
Today, Audrey was ready.
Hi guys! Getting emotional. It's like a family reunion. Long time no see. My name is Audrey. I am the most recent intern at the Kidd Kraddick morning show. If you heard me on the radio, if you saw me on Twitch, if you watched any of the social media videos, or just have any idea who I am at all, which is such a small percentage. It's too bad, really. Then you know that I am a proud psychopath. I have done some crazy things. Maybe you were able to relate to me in some sort of weird way because of my crazy family dynamic, or chasing after running shirtless men, or going on terrible dates, or having your dad marry your personal trainer. I don't know what it was. Being able to just talk on the radio really brought me close to a lot of you. I listened to Kidd Kraddick from the time I was a 13-year-old girl with boobs like an infinity scarf and didn't really have friends, so she played Sims in her bedroom in the dark. So sad. I listened to Kidd Kraddick every single morning, like a lot of you did, on the way to school, or whether you were dropping off your kids. And when I was driving myself to school and the weird evolutions that came, it was always Kidd Kraddick. I went to college and I had a harder time than I expected, and I decided it would be the best decision for me to enroll at UNT because it is local and I would be able to still be close but not too close because, you know, my dad is married to a 33-year-old woman with a baby, so I didn't exactly want to be there all the time. I was undecided when I transferred, so I just picked a random one when I enrolled at UNT, and it ended up being media arts. Didn't want to pick one of the internships they laid out for us. I was like, no, I'm gonna find my own. And the only place I ended up applying was Kidd Kraddick. Producer Nick Adams, as in Nick's Game of the Week, legend, living legend. Really admire what he's doing for the male Swiftie community. He ends up emailing me back. Start my internship at the beginning of January, and walking in there, first of all, the cast wasn't there because they weren't there for like the first month and a half of my internship. They were doing virtual, but walking in and seeing the studio, like laying eyes on it, still can't believe it. When they finally came in, Kelly Raspberry, as I live and breathe. She's my queen. That's it, point blank, period. Big Al, he is, I don't know if he's my king, but he's my jester. I'm not completely sure, but I love me some Big Al. JC, super cool. Anna, so great. Justin, now that's my queen. Justin's my princess. And then I just started oversharing, to say the least. When you listen to people for so long and you know so much about their lives, and then you meet them, it's kind of a weird dynamic, because it's like, I know all this stuff about you, but you don't really know anything about me, but I want to be your friend. I just started oversharing, and that's kind of one of my fatal flaws. I ended up being interviewed about my family dynamic, which, wow. If you don't know, my dad married my personal trainer. He's 56, she's 34, they now have a baby, and I have a half-brother. It was a whole enchilada. I ended up being interviewed for the first time on air about that, and I told them the whole story, the whole shebang of how my dad told me by having her show up at the apartment and do like a knock knock, and I answered the door and I was so confused. I thought she was coming for a training session I forgot about. It was almost like she was a tax collector. Then I ended up telling a story about how, oh God, reliving it as I say it. I went on a date. I went on a date with a guy who ordered milk. Looked like Popeye, drove a tiny car that would explode if it hit me. It's a lot. So I told that story on air. And then came the shirtless runner dynasty. My man Kyle. Love him. Have a special place in my heart for him. We're still Snapchatting now. I know people were wanting to know. I ended up posting up outside the studio for multiple days, chasing a random stranger who we had seen go by the studio consistently for weeks. And so we wanted to know this man. We had to know what his deal was, why he was always running shirtless at the same time every single day. His dog was really cute, and they just wanted to know more. And listen, if there's one thing I can do, it is chase a shirtless man. I was determined to chase him. What I was not prepared for was his speed or his lack of awareness with these headphones that should be expensive for how well they worked. I started chasing him, but I couldn't catch this guy because I haven't run since 8th grade and I was not wearing the shoes for it. So I start chasing this guy and finally I catch him, and when I tell you sparks flew. Woo! Great times. It ended with him being interviewed on air and me being humiliated, but it's okay because it was, you know, the embarrassment really started with probably the first time I chased after him, so then it kind of became just like the theme of my life for the next week or two. Listen, I am let's be nice, I'm probably a 6, but if I were to get arrested from chasing this shirtless man, I'm probably a 10 in prison, so I was okay with it. Next time I was on air was when I talked about the baby daddy I went on a date with. Oh, it hurts to talk about. God, I went on a date with this guy who wasn't drinking, and when I asked about it, he told me it was because his ex was pregnant. Dating other people was okay, but drinking was not. Apparently she was lying about it. She told him it was twins, so that is 2 people she made up, and it was a relief to me because I'm not ready to raise Mary-Kate and Ashley, so it was a weight off my shoulders, or, you know, 2 9-pound weights. Oh, this moment took the cake when I was like, so is the baby yours? And he goes, I think so. You think so? This is something we should have probably clarified before you got here tonight. And then my internship ended, and here we are, Kid Nation. I am successfully unemployed, and that's okay because I'll figure it out. I'm applying places. For some reason, talking about this experience and how great it was and how grateful I am to you guys, I don't know why it keeps doing that to me. All of y'all's comments were so sweet. I read every single one of them. I tried to direct message you if you wrote a comment about me saying thank you. Get it together, Princess Sexy. That's my Hulu name. And having people compliment you and really cheer you on isn't something I was expecting or had experienced before. Unless you consider freshman girls C team basketball bench warming as something people were clapping at. And our crowds had like a full 8 people, and the final scores were usually like 10-6, but those games were electric. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I need to tell stories about, because we would like get in fights. The ball would be rolling on the ground. They made us wear knee pads because they didn't want us to have an excuse not to roll on the ground for the ball. Just having that kind of support wasn't something I was used to, and it meant a lot to me. And I wanted to make this video to thank you guys and tell you that hopefully you haven't seen the last of me. I mean, I'm gonna try to make it out there. We'll see where I end up. I will be continuing to post on social media, trying to stay in touch with you guys. Feel free to message me, comment, anything, and I will do my best to respond. I am going to be making YouTube videos because I have so many stories to tell, and if I couldn't tell them on the radio, then I'm gonna tell them to you on YouTube because Lord knows they need to be told Otherwise, they just roll around in my head embarrassing me throughout the day. So I would rather tell them out loud. Doing a public service. I'll be interviewing my dad and the infamous stepmom. I've already made videos, if you want to go check them out, about how I got a breast reduction, which I referred to earlier by the puppies on my chest that were like an infinity scar. Auditioning for Family Feud. Weird tics of mine, having OCD, which I do. I try to hide it, but that's a whole other video of its own. Anxiety, I've had a panic attack. I made a video about that. Any kind of thing you want me to talk about or you have questions about, shoot them over to me. I'm willing to do it, and I have nothing but free time now. So send them my way and I will gladly do it. And once again, Kidd Nation, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are so good to me and I love you all so much. And if you ever need someone, I'm here for you. And if you feel like you don't have a friend, you have one here, because Lord knows I've been there when my only friends were my Sims. So I'm here for you. Thank you so much for watching and supporting, and I love you guys so much. Oh, and I have more dating stories for you. I just went on that's gonna be my next video. Just had another insane, off the walls dating experience, so be looking out for that video. Bye. I forgot to mention and give a shout out to my absolute favorite person at Kidd Nation, and while you may think it's Kelly, it is actually the executive producer, Robert. I love that man so much. White Cheddar is amazing. He might be a hater, but that's okay, and I feel like he might actually be my soul sister. Love you, Robert.